Job.
No, I did, Robbie.
Oh, the last guy that just came in, he came all the way from the North Island of New Zealand.
Oh, no.
I think he cut his holiday short, he came back early.
Flame girl. If he's trying to put himself on fire again.
The boss! She's the one in the vibe.
She's beautiful. I met her.
Yep. Princess, the boss, I love that.
Yes, I'm only here to make up the numbers.
You make up for 2 numbers, mate. It's all
I
good.
haven't seen Princess yet.
No,
On film.
Yeah,
That's a cute thing.
I can filter out anything you like.
Lucky I didn't wear. Oh, you won't need to.
I think it's a video. I know, and I said no. I said sorry.
At the other one.
Hopey.
Work it, baby, work it. Perfect.
Hello, darling.
Bugger off. Where's my doofah?
Are you talking to yourself again, Sal?
I am. Anyway, you going to do some conversation?
Yeah. There goes Ace. Oh, he's blowing his nose.
with moral support.
Introducing my new big bro.
Yeah.
Mac is back.
It's official.
It's official. Big bro.
Nice.
Insist.
Okay. I'm just going to say a few words. I had to write it all down because I haven't got a good memory these days. But
What'd you say? I can't
I'm
remember.
just going to big girls' ears out. So thank you everybody that made the effort to come down here today. And I know we all feel the same way about Rowdy. Good man.
Yeah.
Too early. He went too early. So this is my attempt at explaining how him and I met and all that sort of stuff. So it'll be quick. It's only 1 page, but yeah.
I love it.
Just happens to be 4 metres long,
This
but
is
anyway.
going back
It
to
is.
the prehistoric years.
I'm going home now.
Come on, skinny
No,
Minnie.
it's all good. It's all good. So, okay, so here we all are gathered to pay our respect and appreciation to a man that means everything to us in all different ways. John Alec Briggs, who's affectionately known as Rowdy.
Thank you, sir.
To all of us who rode with him and shared the passion he enjoyed so much. I've personally known Rowdy since the 1980s, 90s early, when he walked into the Water Tech Engineering in 17 Mile Rocks looking for a technician's job building various water treatment skids from scratch. I was the interviewer back then, and it wasn't long into my questions that I knew there was something special about Rowdy. I knew him then as John. Some knew him as Alec, some knew him as Rowdy, so he had many names. He was so good that I employed him on the spot. I won't go into the specifics, but trust me, he possessed many skills that stood out. Skills that he carried into all facets of the trade, and he adapted quickly with the new challenges of his position. He was my go-to man for projects that needed a particular skill set to complete unassisted. He already knew what to do and how to build it. As we know, he was a perfectionist. He would frustrate his co-workers He was being slow and methodical was his superpower. The quality of his work stood out and always passed the tests scrutiny. So I enjoyed with him. I enjoyed working with him from the start. It was a dark day when I learned of his accident up the mountain. That would change his life forever. His mum and I sat in the recovery room together waiting to see him post-surgery. It was a shock to see him. I don't need to expound on this, as we all know the trials and tribulations he endured that day onwards. This man was always special to me. He and I shared so many stories and laughs, and he never complained about his broken body from day one. Never. Whenever I asked him how he was going, he would just say, "I'm okay, mate," in that soft and easy manner that he had. He always thought of me first and never wanted to cause me pain worrying about him.
Yeah.
And it's so typical of him. He went through hell during the recovery period, and sadly this lasted his entire life, never being able to work again. Let's skip to 2013. Time elapsed and the trauma continued, but he learnt various coping skills. He still achieved the perfection amongst the trauma somehow.
He did.
He rose above the pain and his ongoing injuries and found solace in the company of a group of motorcycle reprobates, all of whom are here today to honour his life and his memories. In every way he was engaging, and he joined all of us in the pursuit of our common passion. He shared the camaraderie as we all did, forging lifelong friendships. The Steel Horses Motorcycling Club turned in more than just a club. He had a family in us. He was and is our brother. He provided his all and never let us down ever. The mountain men. Those of us at Rowdys continue to visit the mountain with him through the years every week. Rowdy led us on the ride every time we met at the gap for the road up to Mount Glorious. He led us in more ways than we knew back then. More recently, our pilgrimage up there became harder for him due to his still broken body, but he remained focused, and again we never knew just how difficult for him this became. We shared so many stories, so many laughs, so many experiences up at that altitude. His Indian accent character came out occasionally for our group.
Shut up.
That's funny.
Yes, I did.
Bloody old.
I didn't
You
know there
packy
were going to be
bastard.
hecklers here.
I need a drink, mate. You're doing so well.
Okay.
Was favourite, fucking
yeah.
bloody.
So we solved political issues up there, we critiqued, and there was much laughing. We were and still are bonded by our passions. Fast forward to life for him recently, the love of his life, the beautiful and caring Hope, who is his life partner, who shared his pain up close and personal. She too has suffered, but somehow they jointly bonded through many trials and tribulations, caring for each other in remarkable ways. We owe Hope our respect and admiration for what she achieved with Rowdy, looking after him endlessly and always being there for him when he needed her most. Stuff that we all have no idea of went down in their personal lives. She deserves our respect.
Thank you.
Just a moment. She deserves, okay, so, yeah, she deserves our respect for this. I've got to know her quite well over the last month or so, and there's a beautiful soul right there. And apparently, I'll always have a room at Hope and Rowdy's B&B.
You will, darling.
You got a BYO though.
Just
That's
gonna
me.
change that. Rowdy was a private man. He was helpful, kind and patient, never complaining about his personal battles with health and ongoing injuries. He is my brother from another mother. He was and always will be in my heart. You will be missed, mate, but will always be remembered.
Oh, beautiful, Matt. Beautiful, Matt.
What's that for me? Think one you don't look like I need to see.
Oh, thank God I didn't wear mascara.
That's beautiful, Matt.
Oh, thank you.
Matt, you're a darling.
It was
Do you want to see that?
No, I think I need some water. Christine said to me I need water.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
Hi everybody, my name's Liz. I'm
close friends with this beautiful lady here, Hope, and her wonderful life partner, John. So on behalf of Hope, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Shelley and Hippie. Your kindness is a lighthouse in her storms. Thank you for being her safe harbour. To Mac. Okay, I'm going to take my glasses off. She sees your quiet strength even when the days are wordless. Gratitude lives deep in the unspoken. Words can't express how grateful I am for you, Mac, as well as Hope. You've been Hope's rock, her comfort in the dark hours, and such a light when she needed it most. Thank you. And to her beautiful sisters, this is one thing that I'm truly grateful. John blessed Hope with bringing her sisters back into her life. So to her sisters, the way you love her, it's her armour. Thank you for being the heartbeat she leans on. Here's a heartfelt message to express my gratitude and Hope's gratitude towards you guys for the love and support during such a difficult time. There are no words deep enough to truly capture the gratitude that we feel for both of yous being here for our Hope. In the darkest moments of Hope's life when grief felt unbearable, you guys were her anchors. Your love, your presence, and the quiet strength you offered her have been nothing short of extraordinary. You didn't just stand beside her, you held her up when she couldn't stand alone. Thank you for being her soft place to fall, for the tears you shared and for the light you brought when the world felt so dim. Family is a gift, but sisters like you are a lifeline. Hope is so loved because of you, and I will never forget the kindness you've shown her and all of us during this heartbreaking time. And to my brave, beautiful Hope.
I wasn't ready for this.
Hope, you're the love for John that echoes beyond words. Even in this unimaginable sorrow, you have been the very definition of grace. Brave beyond measure, endless, kind, and still so thoughtful of others when your own heart is breaking. I am in awe of you. The way you've carried yourself, the love you've shown, even through your tears, it speaks volumes about the remarkable person you are and the profound love you had for John and the love that you guys shared. I want you to know this. Your strength does not go unnoticed, but neither does your grief. You don't have to be strong for anyone, not today, not ever. You are allowed to crumble, to weep, to simply be. And still, I am so deeply proud to know you. To witness the light you are, even in this darkness. Please lean on me, on all of us, as you've got so many of us to lean on. You are so loved and you are not alone, not for a single moment. We're always holding you in our heart, always. And I just wanted to also say that we love you endlessly today and always. Your sisters and everyone, including Mac, we wrap our love around you. We thank you from the bottom of our heart. Your kindness has been a gift beyond measure, and I'll make sure that you feel every ounce of that gratitude as I speak. You're always in my thoughts, always. Here's a heart, a heartfelt, emotional thank you from me.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And then also I just wanted to mention that I had the privilege of knowing John. He was a very private man, and I got to visit the home 3 to 4 times a week and spend a lot of time with Hope and a lot of time with John, and the love that they shared and how they looked after each other. I know a lot of you saw him outside of that, and I always wanted to come, but I don't want to, Krampus style. I thought it would be cool. So I'm so pleased to meet you all, because he really did try really hard every week to try and meet up with all of you. And some weeks he couldn't, and me and Hope would really encourage him to get on his bike, or as it got closer to the end, get in his car, because it would just lift his spirits up, seeing all of you wonderful people in his life. Yeah. And he always had a sense of humour, and he always would say something really lovely every time I would come in. Oh, you look nice today, Liz. Oh, that's a nice dress. And it was just his way of probably saying thank you for, being a good friend to Hope. But I'm grateful to Hope, and I'm grateful to John, because I never met such a kind man and such a loving person. And every day that I was with Hope, we would have to sort out, what are we going to cook John today? But she was doing all the cooking. I was just trying to think of ideas.
Smart.
We were trying to think of, healthy options. But
with chips and gravy.
yeah, he was not into healthy food.
That's very common.
And chocolate.
That was one thing we both shared. John and I, we shared having a sweet tooth. So he would come home with an extra donut or whatever to share with myself and Hope. She doesn't like sweets that much, so it was just really me and him that enjoyed sweets. But yeah, if you could only see how this beautiful woman looked after him so well, how she would make sure his beds was always changed and made sure his clothes was always washed and made sure he would have hearty meals, and he looked after her too. There were so many times that, you know, only he knew the side that no one else knew. So it was a beautiful gift and privilege and blessing that I got to share all of that with these two beautiful people. And John's still blessing us. He's made a beautiful day of today. Roasting hot, a little bit hot, but that's how he liked it. And he was chilling out in his lounge. That's how he liked it, roasting hot with just the fan. He brought, Hope's beautiful sisters here with her today and moving forward always. So that's been a beautiful blessing. And he's been able to give Hope an opportunity to help her beautiful son, Nick, and his family out in ways that she's always dreamt of. So I just wanted to share that little bit there. Thank you so much, Shelley and Hippie, and thank you, Mac. You're amazing. And we really need to give it to my beautiful friend Hope for looking after Mac.
And thank you, Blossom, for such a wonderful speech. That was
I hope it
beautiful.
wasn't too long.
No, not at all. It was very heartfelt and
Yes.
loving.
Yeah.
Very from the heart.
Can
Yeah, it
guarantee
was.
you that was
Thank
not prepared.
Can I take a picky?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
This girl, like, that would have come straight from her heart and head. She didn't plan this, so
No.
thank you so much. I'm not surprised, but
You
as
cherish.
you know, John Rowdy was so bright. So when I started getting support in for me, like, I was freaking out, he was freaking out, to cut all the bullshit out. Met this chickadee, and we're friends for life regardless of the support worker thing. And there was one day when I cracked the shits and I said, oh, that's it, I'm done with NDIS, I'm done with this. He's so private. I now found out he rang her, because I think I once gave him the number as like an emergency. He said, this is what she does, she pushes people away because she's got issues. He said, don't go. So not only, thank you, darling.
And I
Yeah.
would never go anyway.
No, so thank you, that's all I wanted to say. So yeah, he allowed her
And it's
into our house, our home, and even in his private life. You can only imagine what it was like for him with the catheters and all. It wasn't just pain, you know, he had pride. I'd say, I'll cancel Liz today. No, let Liz in. And she'd rock up with an apple turnover. And
As
I'm
you
like,
do.
this
As
is not
you
hot
do.
snacks.
Good on you, Lizzie.
Too much
sausage
soda.
roll, you know, stuff that he did enjoy, because he didn't really eat
Yeah.
much, but when he did, he enjoyed it.
Thank you for your beautiful words.
Oh no,
They were
thank you so
sensational.
much.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Thank you everyone too for coming.
All right.
Like,
John.
It's okay.
aw.
It's
alright.
okay. It's alright, darling. It's alright, darling. It's okay.
You do what you do, darling.
All right. So
It's alright. You can cry. It's all good.
my history with John. So I remember being
It's okay. It is hard.
dirty Soviet.
I'm trying to make this more celebration, not funeral.
It's alright. It's okay to cry. It's okay.
So he was obviously like for me, a stepfather. My real dad's pretty cool, but John was the other dad I desperately needed, who brought a lot of rock, motorcycles and badass into my life. More importantly, electronic engineering, I was all about that when I was young, and that's because John inspired me. Everything about him inspired me. I think he knows that.
Of course he does.
My youngest son, oldest son, Ace, he looks up to John like he's some sort of electronic engineer hero as well. You know, he's overqualified, and that's what I like about him. My two sons carry parts of John with them. They always talk about him. in their own way. I never dealt with loss like this before, so he I always planned to watch a couple of horrors with him because I knew something was a bit up, but I guess I watch it with him in my heart. John is the reason I love rock music, probably heavy metal as a side effect, horror. You know, we got along in every way possible, like he was my dad. And I was blessed to have two good dads, and I always will. And no, I don't think I'm lucky enough to live through the 90s and have two, lots of good parents and aunties. It's good to see my aunties together, and I will always thank John for that, and obviously Liz and everyone and all of you who I've just kind of met. I've always known about you, John. John was always excited to come back when I was in the house with his leather jacket on, and he always told me about his British days and his rocker gangs and mods, and I was always intrigued. I used to watch the Warriors with him. We just had a real biking thing going on. I never even had a bike because my mum wouldn't let me.
I still won't let you.
Still haven't decided yet. I don't trust the people on the road, so I am thinking about it.
No, you have children, not until they're adults.
Or maybe the whole fam, But John will, if I can get a word out without crying, John will be forever an inspiration to my eldest son Ace, who was waiting to learn a fair bit of him, but I think I'll use John as an inspiration for his education. So you want to be like John one day? John, you this, John, you this, John, you that. And anyway, I'm wasting everyone's time.
No, you're not.
No.
Just wanted to get something out because he was very special to me, and obviously Mum.
And the kids.
And the kids. Yeah. He was always wonderful to my wife. No matter what mood he was in, he was always, as Liz said, always complimenting her. And I knew he was proud of me in certain ways. I always felt like I let him down, not being an avionics tech or anything, but I haven't given up.
So did we. We all did.
When you're around such a great man, it's hard to feel as great. But, anyway, I'll end it there because I could carry on all day.
You couldn't do a thing. That was all off the. That was all about you. Thank you. Well done. I'm so proud of you.
The memory's not fantastic. Yeah. But anyway, I can remember that far back. And a couple of years later, Mother Doreen, I think it was Doreen, and Annie,
And Annie, the youngest.
they came out and they stayed at Stafford with Sue for a while, ended up over at Sunnybank, Altandy Street.
That's it.
And then John turns up. Well, I was sort of friendly with the girls. And eventually, was married at the time, but I was still friendly with the girls.
Which one?
Susan.
Oh.
But anyway, then John turns up, and we sort of start talking, and we realise that we like music, we like motorbikes, and we're into electronics. Well,
the Holy Trilogy.
we just got on like a house on fire. So he was working for a weight scales company at the time, and he was sort of a bit fed up with that. So I said to him, "Look, I work for a chemical company called Applied Chemicals." I said, "Do you fancy coming and have a look at what we're doing?" And he says, yeah, okay. So he came and did that. Now, John didn't really know much about chemistry, but he soon learned. And he used his skills in electronics for a lot of the electronics which were coming in then into the chemical industry. So it was a sort of a good thing, a house made in heaven sort of thing. Anyway, so John was there for I think a couple of years, and then decided that it was time to move on. So he moved on to WaterTech with Gary and Randall. And there was a guy there, John and Phil Barlow, John Chalmers, I think. And he was there for a while, and he proved himself, as Randall was saying, very capable of doing stuff. But our main thing developed into being on motorcycles. John was fantastic at spraying motorcycles, and I can remember him rebuilding a bike there, and I can't remember for the life of me now what it was. I've got an idea might have been a Yamaha or Suzuki or
VMAX.
Anybody know?
Yamaha.
It was a Yamaha, was it? Yeah, and he made an absolutely beautiful job of it. And anyway, so we ended up. He bought a Kawasaki 900. Yeah. And I can't remember what bike I had at the time. I think it was a Suzuki GSX 11, I think it was. And we go flying up the mountain, and I mean, like, there was no holds barred in those days. We didn't worry about cops. We just sort of outrun them, and we were sort of always in trouble. And then we sort of started thinking, well, we're getting to racing. So then we started going on to Lakeside. And I remember my bike this particular day was not too well. The chain was about had it. And I remember John turning around to me and he says, "Dad, you're going on the track?" I said, "I can't, John, not with this bike." And he said, "You wuss." So he eventually got me onto the track with this bike, and I had to nurse it. And I think he did it just so that he could be a lot faster than me around the track.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Yeah. But I remember, and you've probably seen photographs of it because I know they've been floating around. We bought these Indian one-piece suits, and they've got this sort of red design on the back. We look like really twins. We've both got these things on. And yeah, so then we sort of went from there, and we used to go up to Mount Glorious every Saturday. Yeah, and I can sort of remember then John was in hospital for a long time, recovering, and I used to go up there, and his sister used to go up there, and I think the rot started to set in with me and her sister then, his sister, and we never really saw sort of eye to eye. But after that time, I did bump into John quite frequently. He'd be out at Bunnings or something like that, and we'd just catch up and have a coffee, and I'd go be sort of going to Motorcycles Auras, drop in there on a Friday, and of course Steel Horses would be there, and he said, "Come on, Steve, come and have a coffee." Sit down, chew the fat for a while, and I think some of the guys here would remember me from that. But yeah, so that's the early life I remember with John, and your memories of later on. So yeah, it's good to fill in those gaps.
It is beautiful. You did a good job.
And I've always heard of Steve Veal. There was Steve, the brother-in-law, and then a guy called Wheelchair Steve, because they went through hospital together, and then it was always Steve Veal. So it's a pleasure to meet you finally.
You were one of the original mountain men. You didn't even know it at the time. Yeah.
You were famous before you know it.
I was, yeah.
Infamous.
Infamous, probably. Yeah.
See you later, Gary. Everybody say goodbye to Gary. He's going now. No, it's okay, Gary. He tried to sneak out. He tried to sneak out.
I'll stay
I want to say thanks to Shelley and
I know. Yes. All the more for me.
Andy.
That was lovely.
Hippie Andy.
Where we used to work, I used to call him the Wizard.
No, I appreciate
You guys know that.
No.
Never heard of that one before.
Haven't you?
No.
Well, Steve's nickname is
We still call him
Pork chop.
Pork Chop.
The secrets are being given away over here, Steve.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me, pork chop.
Thanks again. It was a pleasure knowing John.
Yeah,
He was a great tradesman.
yeah.
Terrific.
Slow as all buggery, but it was perfect.
Oh, it was perfect.
Yeah,
You didn't have to touch it again.
Yeah.
Didn't require testing. It just,
I know. Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
thanks again. Nice to meet you. everyone.
Thank you.
See you, Gary.
Thanks for coming, Gary.
You're a good man, mate. Thank you.
Shut up, bro. I've got a flat bubbly here. While you're standing here with me, I could not have gotten through this last a few weeks without you, but even this last year. So thank you. Your duties are officially over, and he loved you, and he knew that I have you. Thank you for your beautiful words. Have a seat, relax, chill. I'm just going to roll this. Thank you to my, this girl came, you know, it was late at night. I couldn't even call her because I was on the phone to the ambulance, so I get Rowdy's phone. She was there in 15 minutes. I kept asking me, who can we call, who can we call? And I suddenly remembered, oh, there's one sister that lives in Brisbane. I ring up Lana, she's there late at night on a Monday. This one's in Bribey Island, ring her, she's there like 2 hours later the next morning. Mac, you live in Whoop Whoop. He was there, I don't know what time it was.
I forget.
We were still all in shock, and he walks in shock, and you've been there ever since, so thank you so much.
It's free rent. What do you think?
So thank you to Liz, Lana,
Yeah.
Rita and Matt. Thank you to my son, who on the far side of town was obviously devastated, but he's got a young family and a job, and he kept ringing me. You're going to be all right, Mum, you're going to be all right. I'll come and come. Thank you, Sunshine, for stepping up and being a man. You've had to become a man overnight. You've been a beautiful family man. John was so proud of you. And he loved those kids. My grandies, he wouldn't admit it. He said, he's really intelligent. She's really cute. Yeah. So, John's so proud of you. Thank you for stepping up and being here for me. And everyone. All you beautiful biker family, that you're literally family. Brothers in arms, sisters in arms. I could not have survived this without you. I would not have. I don't know what it is. I think it's all your combined support and love. And also him, just watching him suffer so much over the years and increasingly so, which I won't tell you about because that's how private he was. And that's all I can say was a privilege to care for someone like that 24/7. What an honour. So to see him surrender, it was traumatising and awful and all that shit. But good on him. Because he finally said, fuck this, I've had enough. And also, damn girl, you're strong enough, I can go. And like, he wasn't in hospital. Oh my God, they tried to get him back in hospital to be pinched, prodded, poked, all this. And he was just like, nah. He turned his phone on silent. He couldn't even answer his sister's calls or texts. He was just like, I'm done. And we had a few conversations. There was pain going on everywhere. And I'm like, what's going on? And you know what he's like? He said, oh, I'm having bad thoughts. I said, okay, I know all about them. That's all right. Who would? Like, most people would have jumped off a bridge by now and blah, 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 blah. But he's like, oh. And then he said to me, I don't know if he knew, but I think he did. Like every day he'd say, here's the cutest girl in the world. Or, there's my little Hopi. And then the last thing he did was, he bought this fountain for the cats because they like drinking. He used to have to turn the tap on for Iggy because she liked drinking out of the running water. Pepsi couldn't give a shit. He comes home from Bunnings where he spent like, it was his favourite place other than the bike and the mountain. And this fountain, and I'm like, how does it work? And the last thing he did, he said, oh, I just topped up the fountain, I'm really exhausted. And I said, okay, the doctor said you might have anemia, so go and rest. And like, if I'd known, a few hours later, I don't know what I would have done, but what could I have done? And I really hate that this is how it happened for me, but let's not be selfish in any of our grief. He was not in hospital. He was not hooked up, being stabbed, tortured, poked, prodded. He got in his beloved cats. Worked on him for half an hour, the neighbours, it doesn't matter. He got to go. That's when I'm really at my worst, I just think, oh, he got to be where he wanted, in his home, with his family. the two
That
cats would
matters
be
a
on
lot,
the
love.
bed and he'd say to
Yeah,
me,
it matters a lot.
my
Yeah,
little
it matters a
family.
lot.
He'd say, don't tell my biker friends that, but he loved his cats and me, and he said, my little family. So, can't remember what I was saying. So yeah, that was very traumatic and very sudden, but in hindsight, how can I possibly be pissed off or angry at God, or even, I haven't once said, how could you leave me? Because, bless you, darling, you finally surrendered. And what a privilege to be there. And what a privilege to care for that man. And it's been 26 years. And when we met, we were like 24/7. It just sort of worked out that we helped each other over the years. We didn't have full-time jobs, so it's like we've lived a quarter of a century together, but we've lived 100 years together. So I don't know how. I don't know how I am, and I don't know how I will, but I know I must, because he always said he would never leave me. Even in ICU at worst times, he said, I'll go when I'm ready. And my Christian side would come out and I'd say, yeah, God doesn't work like that. And he goes, oh, God and I have got a deal. So he was ready. Him and God had a deal. I don't know how I'm going to go on. I really don't want it, to be honest. But I will, and I am, because, look, he's left me with the most beautiful legacy, and apparently an estate. I don't even know what estate meant. And I didn't give a shit. His sisters were saying, what's happening? I'm like, I don't give a flying. Excuse me for swearing. I've been swearing a lot since he
Oh, we don't
passed.
do that, love. We're so Christian.
And he didn't like me in Hope's room.
Oh, whenever I drop the F-bomb, he would literally wince. The man never, sorry darling, I'm going to share one little private thing. Alright, 26 years.
I know what you're going to say. Oh, no.
Never heard the man say fuck, because when he did, he'd go fuck. When he was pissed off with someone, and rightly so, he'd go fuck. 26 years, through all the illnesses, and that, never heard the man fart. Even when he was passed out, post-operative, on the bed, and then, like, as I'm getting older, as we all are, he's sitting there going, heard that. I'd be in the kitchen cooking him dinner, and I'm like opening the drawers, and I'd go out, and he'd just be sitting there with this little smirk going, heard that. Oh, anyway, I've got to tell you some funny stories. Sorry if I'm hogging.
No,
You're right, love.
we're enjoying it.
I just remembered all these funny things. Years ago when I felt the cold, I'd be rugged up and he said, oh, you're like a penguin. One year I had this beanie that wasn't crocheted or knitted, it was felt or some shit, so it sort of sank in. And I'm cooking away as I did, and he's just looking at me with this stupid grin, and I'm like, what? It wasn't until I went to the loo or something to wash my hands. I was into a lot of ornaments back then and artificial fruit.
What do you mean back then?
As I'm having a D&M with him and probably nagging him over, something, he just suddenly put all this fruit in my beanie. So when I went to the loo and washed my hands, I'm like, oh my God, I look like Carmen Miranda. And then just a few years ago, I went for a walk around the lake, and I get home, and on the loo, there's these toilet rolls, empty one, and I think I posted it to Facebook. He'd made like this cartoon thing of like, two toilet rolls and eyes smoking. Or I used to be big into prepping, like 1,000 veggies and herbs to make it heart smart, and then I'd do whatever and come back and cook it later. I came home one day and he'd arranged all my veggies into eyebrows, a face, like there's mushrooms and capsicums. But it was never like, look at this, like me. He'd just be sitting there and then go.
That's so cute.
So yeah, so I have like 1,000 funny stories for you. I'll miss his little pranks and jokes the most. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for loving him. He loved you all so much. Shelley and Hippie.
What can we say?
Of course it was you. I literally heard him say, not in a like psycho way, in like external voices inside my head. I thought, of course it's Shelley and Hippie. Yep. Of course it's going to be sunny. Thank you for everyone who rode. Thank you, Mac, for everything you've done. And I can't. I'm just. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.